Hi peeps, and welcome to yet another edition of Willis Garage. As many of you already know, I have gotten myself a wood lathe. This is a Coronet Herald from Record Power. It's a UK company. I'm very happy with this lathe and I've used it a bit. I have a few videos already ready and they are going to be published in the next few weeks. Or maybe I already published them. Anyhow, not so happy with the workbench for the lathe. I can't really call this a workbench. It's just put together by some old drawers and a shelf from an old car interior, from a working car, etc. The drawers and the shelf in itself is a very good product, but as a workbench for a wood lathe, this is not good. The center of the workpiece is way too tall for me to work on. I can't do anything about that with these drawers under here, because they are in a set height. But I always knew that this was going to be a temporary solution, and now I'm ready to build a whole new workbench just for the lathe. I have made the design in Fusion, so let's go over to the computer. This is my plan for the workbench. This is just a mock-up of the lathe itself. All the measurements here is correct as sides and heights and things like that. So this is the workbench I'm going to build. Here you can see it a bit closer. The top plate here is going to be put together by multiple planks that I got out of an old ladder. These are the planks I'm going to use to put together the top. These I'm going to plane straight and glue together. When the top is built, I'm going to focus on the legs. Those are also going to be glued together by 1 inch, 2 inch construction timber. That way they get to be 2 inch times 2 inches. The first thing I'm going to do now is to build the tabletop. Okay, I have 12 of these planks. I only need 10 of them to build the tabletop. I can already see that this one is one of the most bent ones. And also this one. So, let's get on with the build. Okay, and now that the tabletop is all glued up, it's time to focus on the legs. I'm going to make the legs out of this material. These legs are going to be 8 times 8 centimeters or approximately 2 times 2 inches. So what I have to do now is to take them in the jointer planer and I have to glue them up so they are ready to be adapted for the workbench.
Now this is prepped for me to put on the legs and things like that. I will give it a final sanding when everything is put together. Here's the tabletop, and I have readied four of the legs. Here. What I have to do now is go into Fusion, find out the angles I'm going to have on the legs. After I've done that, I have to transfer the angles onto the legs and cut in the dowels that are going up inside the tabletop. The angle on the legs are going to be 98.6. Therefore I have this angle measurements here and I have it on 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.6. So I'm going to use this to make the angles on the legs.
Okay, so far so good. The materials for the tabletop on this workbench I got from an old ladder. On that old ladder there were these steps. I have lots of these steps. I'm not entirely sure what kind of wood they are made of, but I think it's some kind of hardwood. Anyway, I really would like to use these as my dowels on this workbench, so I'm putting them in my wood lathe and I'm going to make my own dowels. Let's go! Okay, so far so good. I know this is turning out to be a long video, but this project is also turning out to be a lot more time consuming than I thought in the beginning, but I think it's going to turn out really good. It's not much left now. I have gone over and fixed some cracks and defects with wood glue and some sawdust that I got when I sanded the surface. By using the wood glue this way, you can go over with a sander later and the gaps will be gone. You can notice the gaps, but it will be a smooth surface. I'm going to have one more addition to this workbench. I want to make a drawer down here, so I can have accessories like this plate and the chuck and things like that underneath in this drawer. I'm going to make this drawer very simple with two wooden drawer slides just beneath the workbench top here, and just a drawer with flaps that rides on these rails. The front of the drawer I'm going to use the same type of wood that I'm using on the top, so this will be one consistent look. After I made the drawer, I'm going to chamfer all the edges with my handheld router. Then I'm going to sand down the whole thing and I'm going to treat it with some water-based polyurethane. This is just water-based, normal wood oil. After the wood treatment is finished, I of course have to put my wood lathe, the Coronet Herald, onto this workbench, and I'm going to attach it with the bolts that goes through the top. When that's done, the whole thing is done.
Yeah.